On the day of our daughter's full moon, I overheard my best friend sitting on my husband's lap. Yen, your wife didn't find out that I switched children with her, did she? No. That idiot hugs and spoils our daughter every day. Where's the little bitch she gave birth to? Why don't you have it with you? After a month of abuse, I felt quite bored. I directly threw her into the bathtub and drowned. You are also her father. Will not be heartbroken, right? Hubby said with a look of disgust. How could I care about the life or death of that little bitch? It's not like you don't know that I married Serena Frost for her family's assets. And when our daughter inherits her assets, they'll kick her out. I wiped my tears and pretended I didn't know. Dedicated myself to raising their daughter. 20 years later, my daughter returned from her studies, and I transferred all the shares and assets of the company to her name. Press conference. My girlfriend held my husband's hand and came to me with a paternity test report. Back then, the hospital gave us both the wrong child. Ran is actually my and Ian's biological daughter. You have dominated she so many years. Now, should return her to me. Hubby also took out a divorce agreement and a bank card. Hurry up and get a divorce, so that we can be reunited as a family. There are $5,000 in this card. Take it as your hard-earned money for taking care of the child all these years and divorce compensation. I coldly smiled and said, good. One wife. I see you had a little cough yesterday. I specially got up early this morning and stewed snow pear soup for you. Quickly drink it while it's hot. Jason Joe tenderly and thoughtfully carried a bowl of soup and handed it to me. The eyes that looked at me were full of intense love. Daddy, you are so good to Mommy. My daughter smiled as she ate her breakfast. Yes, Jason Joe's kindness to me was obvious to everyone. He is always the first to notice my negative emotions and give me comfort and surprise. When I was sick, he would take care of me without fail. When he was in love, he would hold me tightly in his arms and say that marrying me was the greatest blessing of his life. If I hadn't overheard his words that day, I couldn't believe that the thoughtful man was a heartless beast. I took the soup and drank it in silence. Not long after, the doorbell rang. It must be Godmother coming. My daughter jumped up excitedly and ran over to open the door excitedly, only to see her best friend standing at the door with a big bag. Seeing her daughter, she was full of smiles. Ran, the weather has gotten cooler recently. So Godmother bought you a few sets of thick clothes. And didn't you say last time that you like to eat the pastries made by Godmother? This time, Godmother made you some more. The daughter's eyes curved into a crescent moon and smiled. Thank you, Godmother. Godmother is the best to me. Her best friend put down her things and swept her daughter into her arms and said intimately, of course. You are my godmother's darling. Godmother would love to give you all the good things in the world. After saying that, my best friend sat down at the dining table with her daughter, looked at me, and directly said, Ruhan, I heard from Ran that their school is having a parent-teacher conference today. Can you let me go? As you know, I'm not as lucky as you. I married a good husband and gave birth to a well-behaved daughter. I was impregnated by a scummy man and gave birth to a cheap bastard. That short-lived ghost can drown in the bathtub when he takes a bath. I don't even have a chance to attend the parent-teacher conference if I want to. The BFF said pitifully, her eyes still constantly darting back and forth between Jason Joe and her daughter's body. Over the years, she always used her daughter's early death as an excuse to do a lot of things that crossed the line. In addition to coming to my house every day to visit my daughter, she also organized her daughter's birthday every year, taking her daughter for Children's Day and going to school for her parent-child activities. Even on Mother's Day, she takes her daughter out on a solo trip and takes a bunch of group photos for her friends. Every time she asked, she said, my family's cheap bastard died early, and I don't want to have another one in the future. We are best girlfriends. I just want to love Ren as my own child. I have not yet taken a position. My husband immediately helped to open his mouth. Ruhan, Chan child died early. Also quite poor. Why don't we just let her feel what it's like to have a parent-teacher conference? Looking at the three of them full of anticipation, I smiled faintly. Today I happen to be unavailable. Seeing me agree, my girlfriend smiled with satisfaction. My daughter also clapped her hands happily. After breakfast, BFF couldn't wait to take her daughter to the school. Jason Zhou, on the other hand, left together on the pretext of seeing them off. I silently watched the three of them leave happily without saying a word. Two seemed to be thinking that I was particularly good at fooling around and never noticed the difference. The girlfriends are getting bolder and bolder. In the past, she only secretly met Jason Zhou in private while I was at the office. But now, even when I'm at home, she'll find all sorts of excuses to come to my door. Ruhan, I've recently taught myself how to cook, so I'm coming over to show you guys how it's done. Ruhan, I've just come back from the countryside. And I've brought a lot of souvenirs with me, so I've come here to give them to you. Ruhan, the water pipe in my house burst. Can I come and stay at your house for a few days? Although I knew in my heart that the purpose of my girlfriend's friend coming to my house every time was to see my daughter and Jason Zhou, I still didn't refuse. I politely welcomed her whenever she came to my door. Jason Zhou is very happy with this state of affairs. The corners of his mouth would always rise when he saw his best friend come to his door. Sometimes, he would even make eyes at his girlfriend in front of me and make secret glances at her. Even my daughter is becoming more and more intimate with my girlfriend. Also specially bought a pair of home slippers for her girlfriend, so that she can come over at any time. This kind of life has lasted until the daughter's college entrance examination. On the day of the scores, my best friend came to my house early in the morning. We waited together for the result of our daughter's examination. Seeing her daughter's ridiculously low college entrance examination results, Jason Zhou pretended to be angry and rebuked. Why did you only get such a low score? His daughter said indifferently. Anyway, our family has money. Why do I have to work so hard to study? Mom can just buy me a degree when the time comes. Jason Zhou glanced at me in a casual manner. Seeing that I didn't take a stand, he continued, even if your mom loves you, she can't let you do whatever you want. It's not easy for her to manage the company all by herself. You have to fight for it. Otherwise, how can you help your mom share the burden in the future? How can you let her rest assured that the company will be handed over to you? Seeing this, her best friend quickly interjected. Ruhan is Ran's own mother. Can she still not care about Ran? Upon hearing this, her daughter also chimed in. That's right. I'm Mom's only daughter. She has so many companies under her name. Can she still let me starve? My girlfriend gave her daughter a slightly admiring look, then looked at me again and directly said, Ruhan, Ran is a good kid. You can't let her go to some pheasant university. What if she gets bullied? Why don't you first let her go to your company as a general manager or something? Let her help you out. My daughter has been spoiled by her girlfriends and Jason Zhou over the years to the point where she is arrogant and bossy, and she doesn't learn anything. On her level of strength, she is not even qualified to enter my company as an intern. But I didn't say it outright, but said in a serious manner. How can being a general manager be enough? She's the only daughter I have. She deserves to take over everything I do. I've planned it all out. First send Ran abroad to further her education. When she comes back from her studies, I'll give her full control of the company. Hearing me say this, my best friend's eyes instantly lit up. She laughed out loud and said, Yes, yes, yes. Ran is such an excellent child. She should be the high and mighty female president. I've long said, Ran is just born with a rich life. Much better than my family's short-lived bitch. Jason Zhou and his daughter nodded their heads with great joy, their faces full of smiles. Looking at the three of them laughing into a ball of smugness, I also laughed. They laughed at me for being too stupid. I laughed at their naivety. 3. During the time of the study abroad procedures, I took my daughter to the company every day. I taught her to familiarize herself with the company's business without reservation. The day I left the country, girlfriends came specially. She brought a bunch of things for her daughter, fearing that she would have a bad time alone in a foreign country. Along the way, she urged her daughter. The picture is warm and touching. Really is a child traveling 1,000 miles mother worry. After her daughter boarded the plane, her best friend also watched the plane high in the sky until it disappeared. Only then did she leave with tears in her eyes, reluctant to leave. After my daughter left the country, the number of times my best friend came to my house became less. But Jason Joe went out more and more frequently. Every time he comes back, he seems to be emptied out. Whenever I asked, he either said he was looking for a brother to go to a party. Either he said he enrolled in a fitness class to maintain his figure. When you can't find an excuse, you will pretend to sigh sadly. Ran as my hand brought up. Never left me. All of a sudden out of the country for so long. I always can't help but miss. If I don't find something to do for myself, I'll break down. I ignored the scent of his best friend's salon perfume and pretended to placate him. Ran will be back soon. And then, our family can be together again. Jason Joe smiled slyly, meaning to say, yes. Soon our family of 3 will be reunited. 3 years later, my daughter returned from her studies. My best friend, whom I hadn't seen for a long time, came to my house early in the morning, accompanied Jason Joe and me to pick up the plane. The moment I saw my daughter, my best friend was overwhelmed with emotion and rushed forward to hug her tightly in her arms with tears in her eyes. After the two of them have finished venting their thoughts, daughter walked straight towards me, opened the door and said, "Mom, I'm back. Your company. When will you give me to take care of?" Looking at my daughter's impatient look, I smiled faintly. "Let's go. I've convened a press conference immediately. I'll hand everything over to you in front of everyone." For the press conference site was packed. All the media reporters and celebrities and businessmen gathered here, just to see the business giant Shin Group change ownership. With all eyes on me, I announced that my daughter would take over my position as president of Shin Group. And in the presence of lawyers and interview cameras, I signed an equity transfer agreement. All the assets and company shares under my name were transferred to my daughter's name. For a while, the applause was thunderous and the crowd was boisterous. Many people are marveling at the deep love between our mother and daughter. The eyes that looked at my daughter were full of envy. However, just at such a moment, BFF arrived late with Jason Joe on her arm. In the crowd's puzzled and surprised eyes, my best friend took out a paternity test report and said loudly to me, "Serena Frost, I'm not going to lie. Yen and I fell in love a long time ago and had a daughter at the same time as you. Back then, the hospital carried the wrong child for both of us. Ran is actually mine and Ian's biological daughter. You have been hogging her for so many years. Now, it's time to return her to me." Upon hearing this, the scene instantly erupted. Isn't this Samantha's son the BFF of Mr. Shin? She even got involved with Mr. Shin's husband. She even gave birth to a daughter. The key is that Samantha's son's daughter died just after she was 1 month old. So if she really made a mistake, wouldn't the one who died be Mr. Shin's own daughter? Too hateful. Snatch other people's husbands even if, but also raise other people's daughters to die. This is not let people extinct. Samantha's son is also too not something. And Mr. Shin just transferred all the property to his daughter's name. And here she is recognizing her daughter. Is this what a human being does? In the midst of everyone's heated denunciation, Jason Joe spoke up with a straight face. In the first half of my life, I have been bound by my marriage. And as a man, I tried to convince myself that I have to be responsible for this marriage. But I'm a human being, too. Countless difficult nights. I've asked myself, is this really the life I want? Serena Frost is from a good family and treats me and my daughter well, but what I really love in my heart is Sin. I just want to pursue my true love. Is that wrong? Marriage is for happiness. Divorce is also. Marriage should not become the shackles of my pursuit of true love. I hope everyone bless us. Jason Zhou's words are heartbreaking and resounding. It seems to be an unfortunate person in a marriage who is breaking the world and pursuing true love. I didn't care about him, but looked straight to my daughter at the side and asked, "What do you think?" My daughter looked carefully at the equity transfer agreement in her hand, then spoke calmly, "Mom, this is the last time I will call you this. Although you have raised me with care for more than 20 years, you are not my real mom after all. Family bonds are unbreakable. I hope you won't stop our family reunion." Seeing this, Samantha's son said triumphantly, "Shin Ruhan, have some face you. Don't rely on someone else's daughter just because your own short-lived daughter died early." Jason Zhou also took out a divorce agreement and a bank card and threw it in my face. "Hurry up and get divorced while everyone is here. There are $5,000 in this card. Take it as your hard-earned money for taking care of your child all these years and divorce compensation." Hearing these words, everyone at the scene was enraged. It's true that it's not a family that doesn't enter a family. What the hell is this family of three? That's right. Everyone knows that Mr. Shin has always held her daughter in his heart and loved her. After so many years of favoring her, he just transferred his billion-dollar family fortune to her. And then she turns around and recognizes someone else as her mother. $5,000 of divorce compensation. Is this to send out a beggar? How does her husband have the nerve to say that? I can't even stand to watch as an outsider. Mr. Shen, don't bother with this family of brutes. That's right. They've bullied me too much. People on the scene were all fighting for me, and some even offered to help me file a lawsuit to reclaim my property. In the face of everyone's reactions, Samantha's son and Jason Zhou were always calm. It was as if they were prepared to deal with whatever happened. However, in the midst of everyone's righteous indignation, I smiled a taboo smile. Good. After saying that, I signed the divorce papers under the astonished gaze of the entire audience. Seeing this, Samantha's son and Jason Zhou were slightly stunned, as if they did not expect me to agree so quickly. They picked up the divorce agreement and the transfer of shares, carefully examined it, confirmed that there were no mistakes, and then smiled reassuringly. While they were laughing in glee, I spoke again. "Since you all gave me such a big surprise, then I have a big gift to give back to you guys as well." Jason Zhou looked confused and asked, "Big gift? What big gift?" The others also looked at me curiously. I pulled out the antique wooden box that I had prepared in advance in the midst of all the attention. Handing it to Jason Zhou, I opened my mouth in a serious manner. Even though Rand doesn't recognize me as her mother, but after all, I have raised her for 20 years, and in my heart, she is still the sole heir that I have identified. This is the heirloom of my Shin family. And I give it to you, wishing your family a lifetime of harmony. Jason Zhou couldn't help but stare blankly for a while after hearing this. Only then took the antique wooden box, vigilantly opened it, and took out an heirloom jade ring with a long vintage from inside. Seeing this, the crowd was confused. It's really the Shin family's heirloom. Ah, this Serena Frost is crazy, isn't she? Surprisingly, she also took out the family heirloom to bless this family of beasts. 80% is stimulated. Her brain is not normal. It's too tragic. After loving her husband and daughter for so many years, one betrayed her, one is not her own, and cheated her out of her family's fortune. Her own biological daughter also died. Who else would not be able to accept this? Right. But the more this happens, the less she should spoil this family. Ah, if it were me, I would hate to get Samantha's son killed. The audience couldn't help but despise me. Samantha's son also clapped her hands and sighed. Serena Frost. In the past, I only thought you were a stupid person with a lot of money. But today, you really impressed me with you. You're not stupid. You're just a natural-born lickspittle. The meanest backstabber I've ever seen. My daughter also frowned and looked at me with a look of disgust. It's a good thing you're not my real mom. Or else you'd really be ashamed of yourself. Jason Joe even rolled his eyes. Speechless. Serena Frost. Having been married to you is really the biggest shame of my Jason Joe's life. Don't ever say you know me again. I can't afford to lose this person. After saying that, he put his arm around Samantha's son and took his daughter with him as he strutted away from the press conference. I, on the other hand, directly rushed to the hot search headlines. The reporter on the scene broadcast the whole of today's Variety Live. Netizens all over the country saw what happened to me and what I did. One by one, there were heated discussions online. Is there something wrong with this woman's brain? That is, her own daughter is dead. She can still be indifferent to this family of white-eyed wolves to send blessings. Is this something that people can do? I really hate my guts. How can there be such a wimpy, stupid woman in this world? Netizens' outrage is justified. Can this kind of angry topic not be on the hot search in the future? The internet was abuzz, confronted with what happened to me and what I did. Some were outraged, others sympathized. There are also enthusiastic people contacted me, asking me if I need to hype, while the heat of the live broadcast to sell misery, to make some money to restore the loss. After I rebuffed them one by one, I silently returned home. As soon as I arrived home, I saw Samantha's son moving her luggage to my house. My things, on the other hand, were being thrown out like trash by Jason Joe and his daughter. Seeing me coming, Jason Joe lifted his chin, looked at me out of the corner of his eye, and said in disgust, Serena Frost, this house is Rand's now, and we are divorced. So hurry up and get the hell out of here with your rags. Leave our family reunion alone. Jason Joe never pretended anymore. The tenderness and thoughtfulness that he used to have when facing me no longer exists. Only endless dislike and disgust remain. As if I have been patient with me for a long time. My daughter also looked at me condescendingly. To be a person can live like you are really enough to fail. Get lost. Don't dirty my house. At one time, my daughter had great respect for me, but now she despised me to the bone. I did not say anything. Silently stepped forward and picked up the luggage on the ground. Turned around and left. Leaving this mansion, I rented a simple old broken small, and lived the poor days of a person living alone. A few days later, Jason Joe and Samantha's son came to the door with their daughter. Is this a place for people to live? You can't even find the ground to hang yourself. The coffin is bigger than this, right? Samantha's son complained as soon as she walked in the door, and Jason Joe said, Serena Frost, you have arms and legs. Why don't you find a job that pays for your food and accommodation? At least you were once the richest woman in the world, but you have to stay in this rat hole all day long. Don't you feel bad? Even my toilet is bigger than this. How can you live here? I ignored their disparagement and mockery, eating my meal at ease. Seeing that I was eating vigorously, Samantha's son pulled out a photo with a smug face and handed it to my eyes. Serena Frost, you are enjoying yourself. I just don't know. How is your short-lived bitchy daughter doing underground? On the photo, my daughter's face was yellow, skinny and bruised. On her face, there were 2 lines of tears. It looked pitiful to the extreme. Seeing that I looked at the photo without saying a word, the corner of Samantha's son's mouth rose slightly and continued to provoke. No wonder I'm annoyed when I look at her. So it's just a born short-lived ghost. How lowly do you think this child had to be for God to let her die on the day of her full moon? It's really bad luck when you think about it. No one loved and cared for her since birth. And until she died. She didn't even have a funeral. Samantha Sun's face was disdainful, her words full of contempt and smugness. It was as if my daughter's death was a deserved and congratulatory event for her. But I remained expressionless, not saying a word. Seeing this, Jason Zhou furrowed his brows and said in dissatisfaction, "Serena Frost, you really aren't a thing. You're indifferent to the death of your own daughter who was carried to term. Thanks to those people on the internet who have been holding out for you, saying that you're pathetic. Chasing after the three of us with all kinds of curses on our private messages. Make our company's stock market plummet. I see you. The culprit is really deserved to die. I did not rage." Jason Zhou, however, raged. Angry that I wasn't enraged by their door-to-door provocations. Angry that I let their evil behavior be scorned. Angry originally belonged to my company. Under their management, every deterioration. Seeing Jason Zhou furious, his daughter consoled, "Dad, don't be angry. Prosperity Group's president Luna Su has already promised to invest in me. Prosperity Group is an Optimus Prime that is dozens of times bigger than our company. A wave of Mr. Su's hand is enough to bring our company back from the dead and take it to the next level. Once the contract is signed, you and Mom can wait to enjoy your life." Hearing this, Jason Zhou's brows only relaxed. Ms. Su is a veritable businesswoman. I heard that she is far ahead in the business world. Countless people want to work with her. If we can successfully sign a contract with her, then we, Zhou Corporation, will indeed be able to regain our splendor. Daughter, you're really something. To be favored by such a powerful woman. Ever since I transferred the assets under my name to my daughter. They renamed Shin Group to Zhou Corporation the next day. My daughter's name was also changed from Shin Ranran to Zhou Ranran. The company was declining under their operation, and its market capitalization was much lower than before. However, they were not worried because Luna Su, the CEO of Prosperity Group, said publicly that she wanted to invest in Zhou Corporation. And Luna Su was like a dark horse that came out of nowhere. Luna Su is like a dark horse that came out of nowhere. With her ability to make a difference, and her thunderous methods, she has made a name for herself in the business world. Her investment in cooperation made Jason Zhou's family instantly become more arrogant. Otherwise, they wouldn't have come here specifically to taunt me. Samantha Sun glanced at me smugly and said conspiratorially, "That's right. Don't look at whose daughter it is. Isn't it all because of my good education that she is appreciated by Luna Su? Unlike some people's lowly daughters, who have rotten lives and deserve to die." Saying that, Samantha Sun took Jason Zhou and Zhou Ranran's hands as she arrogantly said, "Our family's good life has just begun." Ha ha ha. It seemed like they were thinking freely about their peak life in the future. This family laughed freely in front of me. Listening to their hearty laughter, I silently swallowed the last mouthful of rice. Yes. Your good days. Indeed, they've just begun. 7 soon enough. It was the day that Zhou Ranran and Luna Su signed a contract to work together. The signing ceremony was scheduled at the city's largest hotel. Today, inside and outside the hotel, there was a huge crowd. Business celebrities could enter the hotel to attend the signing ceremony with their invitations. Those who didn't have invitations stood outside the hotel to catch a glimpse of the grand scene. Some of the netizen anchors, in order to be able to rub this wave of traffic, deliberately spend a high price to buy invitations, mixed into the signing scene, to give you a full live broadcast of this magnificent signing ceremony. Looking at the huge hotel, the pop-up screen kept scrolling. This signing ceremony is too grand and grand, right? All the business celebrities and nobles from the rich and powerful families have gathered. That's right. This is the first company invested by Prosperity Group. All the dignitaries in the province are here to take this opportunity to climb up the Prosperity Group's ladder, even if the cooperation doesn't work out. We'll still be able to catch a glimpse of Luna Sue and see what the legendary mysterious strong woman looks like. I'm just curious. How come such a powerful person like Mr. Sue invested in Zhou Corporation? That's right. Who doesn't know that Zhou Ranran is a white-eyed wolf with no talent? She had a rich, backstabbing mom in front of her, and now she's being appreciated by a mysterious female CEO. It's true that people are more angry than each other. The signing ceremony was so hot that it soon rushed to the top of the hot search list. The number of people who were spectating on the internet was also increasing. However, just as everyone was marveling at the gathering of luxury families at the scene, my figure noiselessly appeared in front of the live broadcast camera. Seeing me, the pop-up screen instantly boiled over. Isn't this Serena Frost? Didn't she fall out with the Zhou family? How come she's here too? It couldn't be that sending heirloom blessings last time wasn't enough. And now she wants to send some kind of amazing blessing at her fake daughter's signing ceremony. Right. Holy shit. Is that so counterintuitive? For a woman to be able to go backwards to her this far. It's really unbeatable. Not only the pop-ups. There were also many people at the signing site who looked at me suspiciously. Jason Zhou and Samantha Sun, who were entertaining the guests with their wine glasses, had their smiles freeze the moment they saw me. Samantha Sun put down her wine glass and went straight forward, saying to me in a bad mood, "Serena Frost, today is a great day for us to sign a contract with the Prosperity Group. All of the guests here are non-profit organizations. The guests here are all rich and famous. How did you get in here, you poor bastard?" Jason Zhou was also angry and scolded. "That's right. You're not welcome here. Get lost." Facing their unceremonious expulsion, I said indifferently, "I walked right in with my invitation." Upon hearing this, the two of them looked at each other, both seeing shock in each other's eyes. At this time, the exquisitely dressed Zhou Ranran stepped on her high heels and walked up to me, saying contemptuously, "Serena Frost, you're crazy, aren't you? Do you know how much I value this signing ceremony? Even the invitations were personally prepared by me, one by one. You're not even in it. How dare you have the audacity to say that you came in with the invitations? Do you want to be ashamed?" At those words, Samantha Sun said coldly out loud, disdainfully saying, seeing how she said it in a dignified manner, "I really thought that you invited her to come and see the world. I didn't realize it was some people who don't even have a face, talking nonsense in public." Jason Zhou looked me up and down and said in disgust, "I guess he's poor and crazy and wants to sneak in to climb the relationship. Right. You don't even take a piss and look in the mirror. With this poor look, you're not even qualified to shine the shoes of the likes of us." In the face of their suppression and disparagement, I silently pulled out the invitation. It was Luna Sue who invited me. 8. Upon hearing this, Zhou Ranran instantly frowned. She snatched the invitation and examined it carefully. Seeing that the invitee on the invitation was indeed Luna Sue, she immediately widened her eyes and was filled with shock. How is this possible? Seeing this, Samantha Sun quickly asked, "What's wrong, daughter? Is this invitation real? Was it forged by this bitch Serena Frost?" Zhou Ranran shook her head and said in a trembling voice, "It's real." After saying that, Zhou Ranran looked at me again and said incredulously, "Say, where did you get this invitation?" Jason Zhou saw that Zhou Ranran's state was not right and couldn't help but ask softly, "Ranran, Serena Frost after all raised you for many years, and used to be the president of our Zhou Corporation. Mr. Sue should be sending Serena Frost an invitation because of all this, right?" Zhou Ranran denied without hesitation. "No way. General Manager Sue said that I would be solely responsible for inviting guests to the signing ceremony. She only made the only invitation by hand. Said it was to be given to her most important person." Hearing this, Samantha Sun and Jason Zhou's faces changed at the same time. Even the guests at the scene couldn't help but gather around and talk. "Mr. Sue is a person on the clouds. How could he personally give Serena Frost an invitation? That's right. It's hard for us celebrities and rich businessmen to see her. How could Serena Frost get the only invitation she made? Right. Didn't they say that this only invitation is for Luna Sue's most important person? This person is actually Serena Frost. It seems that today's signing ceremony is not simple. Now, the eyes of the people at the scene looked at me differently. The live viewers were even brushing their screens quickly. Impatient to know the answer, Jason Zhou pondered for a moment, looked at me and asked, Serena Frost, what is your relationship with Mr. Sue? Why would she give you this only invitation? Jason Zhou asked the question in everyone's mind. At this moment, everyone was quietly looking at me, waiting for my answer. However, without waiting for me to open my mouth, Samantha's son jumped ahead and said, I know, she must have stolen this invitation. How could a bitch who is down and out like a dog, who doesn't even have the qualifications to take a look at Mr. Sue, get Mr. Sue's invitation? Hearing this, Zhou Ranran also nodded her head, sizing me up while saying seriously, I really didn't expect that you would go and do this kind of stealing in order to be able to squeeze back into high society. People like you should rot at the bottom of society for the rest of your life and be reviled. Where's the security guard? Hurry up and kick this crazy bitch out. Don't let this kind of trash ruin the signing ceremony between me and Mr. Sue. Dirty Mr. Sue sighs. With a command, the hotel security quickly surrounded me, just as they were about to drive me out of the hotel. Not far away, a cool female voice suddenly rang out. Stop. Luna Sue. Coming. 9. The crowd looked over at the sound, only to see Luna Sue, dressed in a high-fashion dress, standing in the middle of the hall. Her face was like a hibiscus. Her eyebrows were like pictures, and her temperament was outstanding. The entire person was permeated with a natural noble aura. Jason Zhou was the first to react, and he quickly moved forward towards Luna. He quickly stepped forward towards Luna Sue to extend his hand, nodded and wasted. General Sue, hello. I am Zhou Ranran's father, Jason Zhou. Luna Sue ignored Jason Zhou's curt handshake. Coldly speaking, what are you doing? Upon hearing this, Zhou Ranran hurriedly explained, Mr. Sue. Suddenly a piece of trash sneaked in and tried to sabotage our signing ceremony. But don't worry, I will immediately clean this trash out for you. Samantha's son also curried favor with a smile. Right. No situation can stop our two companies from cooperating. Hearing their words, Luna Sue's face sank. Garbage. Jason Zhou nodded repeatedly and pointed at me. It's this bitch. She stole your invitation, and even blurted out that she was invited in by you. We are planning to teach her a good lesson. Zhou Ranran also chimed in. Mr. Sue, you don't know. This woman is my father's ex-wife, and also raised me for a while. She acted recklessly on the basis of knowing us, and even hit on our signing ceremony, wanting to use this opportunity to be among the upper class. This kind of disgusting bitch should be taught a hard lesson. Jason Zhou and Zhou Ranran's words caused Luna Sue's already cold face to rise above. Instantly added a few points of anger. Seeing Luna Sue's face as cold as frost, the crowd at the scene softly murmured, You guys see, Ms. Sue's face is white with anger. It seems that Serena Frost's invitation was really stolen. Yes. I really didn't expect that the once magnificent female president of the mansion would really do this kind of stealing. This is the end of Serena Frost. Ms. Sue is the queen of the business world. If you offend her, isn't that like offending the entire business world? Maybe even Zhou Corporation will be implicated. The crowd's murmurs fell into Samantha's son's ears. She frowned slightly, pondered for a while, and hurriedly said curtly to Luna Sue, Mr. Sue, this matter is our negligence. Don't be angry. I'll ask someone to break Serena Frost's hand to make amends to you. Let's see if she dares to steal anything in the future. Saying that, Samantha's son was about to call the security guards to do it. But Luna Sue stopped it. Who said she stole my invitation? At that sound, everyone at the scene looked at each other with puzzled faces. The live broadcast pop-up screen also kept keying question marks, not knowing why. Under the attention of everyone, Luna Sue opened her slender thighs and slowly approached towards me. She then stood in front of me and respectfully called out, "Mom." 10 Luna Sue's call caused the crowd, who were already puzzled, to instantly widen their eyes. One by one, their faces were filled with shock. The live broadcast pop-up screen even frantically swiped the screen. What's going on here? Why would Sue always call Serena Frost Mom? Yeah, hasn't Serena Frost been raising daughters for others for over 20 years? Her own daughter has also died. So how did she create another daughter out of nowhere? The key is that this daughter is still so outstanding, compared to Mr. Sue. That trashy daughter is one heaven and one earth. I can't understand. This Serena Frost is hiding too deep, right? How exciting. Is the dog-licking girl finally going to fight back? Amidst the countless pop-up exclamations, Joe Ranran looked at Luna Sue in confusion. Mr. Sue, why are you calling her mom? Did you recognize the wrong person? Jason Joe also hurriedly said. Yes, Mr. Sue. This is just a poor ghost living in the slums at a snail's pace. How can you call her mom? Isn't this an insult to your identity? Samantha's son was even harder to accept as she spoke. Mr. Sue, are you kidding us? This kind of stupid and poor bitch. She doesn't even deserve to shine your shoes. How can she be your mom? Facing the questioning of the three of them, Luna Sue coldly glanced at them and said grimly, "How can I still recognize my own mother? Do you guys think I'm blind?" Luna Sue's rhetorical question caused Samantha's son and their faces to, at once, panic. Joe Ranran was even more terrified as she waved her hands in a row to explain. No, Mr. Sue, we're just worried that you've been tricked. Just reminding you with good intentions. Luna Sue snorted coldly and said bluntly, "Kindly remind. I see. You guys just can't see that my mom is doing well, and can't wait for her to live a poor and lonely life, and be mocked by 10,000 people, right? My mom has given you all she has, for decades, and you don't appreciate her, but you still bully and slander her. You guys, you really opened my eyes." Luna Sue's words were simple and rough, straight to the heart of Joe Ranran's family of 3, leaving their faces hung with heartbreak. But in the next moment, Joe Ranran explained stiffly, "Mr. Sue, even though we didn't treat her very well just now, it was all a misunderstanding. We thought that she had stolen your invitation and blended in. That's why she was like that." Samantha's son also nodded her head and agreed. Yes. It was all a misunderstanding. Let's not let this little hiccup affect our cooperation. Jason Joe also urged. That's right, Mr. Sue. So many people are watching. We should start the signing ceremony. All those other things, they don't matter. Seeing that they were still unrepentant even now, Luna Sue sneered and directly said, "Signing? Just you family of wolfish things. Are you also worthy of signing with me?" 11 Luna Sue's words full of sarcasm made Jason Joe's trio instantly dumbfounded. What do you mean by that? Joe Ranran's brows furrowed in disbelief as she opened her mouth. Luna Sue's face was bland as she once again said, "What? It's been too long since you've been a human being that you can't even understand human language. I, Luna Sue, am not stupid. No matter what, I will not invest in someone like you who is incapable and has a wolf's heart. Why don't you think about how to save your Joe Corporation while you're daydreaming here?" Luna Sue was straightforward and spoke the truest and sharpest words. Joe Ranran was so angry that her entire face swelled red. If it wasn't for her concern for Luna Sue's background and power, she would have wanted to tear her apart on the spot. Jason Zhou, on the other hand, tensed his nerves and asked vigilantly, Luna Sue, what do you mean by that? What do you mean save Zhou Corporation? Samantha's son also looked puzzled. That's right. I'm fine with Zhou Corporation. What's all this talk about saving it? Don't you curse us here. Seeing that they were still stupid and confident, I couldn't help but said coldly, right away you guys will know. As soon as the words fell, Zhou Ranran received a call from her secretary. Mr. Zhou, all of a sudden all of our suppliers can't be contacted. The partners are now pressing for goods, but we can't get anything out. Upon hearing this, Zhou Ranran frowned and immediately said, then go to other channels to get goods. The big deal is to pay a high price. In any case, the first batch of goods topped up to solve the pressing problem. The other end of the phone said anxiously, I've tried, but no one is willing to sell us the goods. All the channels have been swallowed up by Luna Sue's people. Now the partners have all gone to Luna Sue to get their goods. And we don't have a penny in our account. Now, Zhou Corporation is facing a huge default and massive deficits. The company, bankrupt. As the words fell over there, a large group of people suddenly broke into the hotel scene over here. All of them were looking for Zhou Ranran to claim their wages and liquidated damages. In just a minute before and after, Jason Zhou, Samantha's son and Zhou Ranran went from being the billionaires that everyone envied, turned into a billionaire negative that everyone was shouting about. Now, the three of them finally panicked. Jason Zhou glared angrily at me and yelled indignantly, Serena Frost, how dare you play dirty tricks with us here? Why are you so disgusting? Zhou Ranran also hissed and growled at me, surname Shin. You hurry up and find a way to set this matter right now. Otherwise, I will never forgive you. These words again made me stifle a laugh. In the end, I was the one who fueled her mesmerizing confidence. I looked at her and said, word for word, your forgiveness. I really don't care. For so many years, if you but learn some skills, you won't let the company shortfall so badly. Zhou Ranran gritted her teeth and said, Serena Frost, you're less of a fox here, relying on an illegitimate daughter from who knows where to strut around here. What kind of skill is that? If you had real skills, would you still be stupid enough to give me all your assets with both hands? Snap. As soon as the words fell, Luna Sue directly slapped Zhou Ranran hard on her face. Don't disrespect my mom. I'm not some illegitimate daughter, but my mom's adopted daughter from an orphanage. For so many years, she has been raising me wholeheartedly without reservation, allowing me to slowly climb from nothing to where I am now. Everything I have, I owe to her. As soon as these words came out, the entire room erupted. So it's just an adopted daughter. Then this Serena Frost is indeed powerful, adopting a random daughter, and being able to teach her to be so outstanding. Yes. On the contrary, this Zhou Ranran really looks more and more like a piece of slime. Zhou Ranran frowned deathly as she turned to Luna Sue and asked, why do you want me to organize this signing ceremony? Luna Sue grunted lightly and said frankly, of course. It's so that you can call up all the business celebrities and friends and family, so that everyone can witness what will happen to your family of white-eyed wolves. Jason Zhou looked at me incredulously and asked, Serena Frost, you raised Ranran while adopting a daughter to deal with us. Could it be that you had anticipated everything? I spoke coldly. That's right. I knew it all along. You guys switched my child. Not only that, but I also knew that my own daughter didn't die by accident. Rather, she was drowned by Samantha's son's own hands. 12 My words caused Samantha's son to instantly panic. Under the horrified gaze of the crowd, she sheepishly and nervously shouted at me, don't you dare spit blood here. You're a short-lived bitch, clearly drowned while bathing. What do I care? In response, Jason Zhou also helpfully opened his mouth. That's right. Don't think that just because you've raised a powerful daughter, You can recklessly turn black and white upside down. How dare you slander Qianqian in public? Beware of us suing you for slander. Zhou Ranran also looked at me with a look of disgust. No wonder your daughter died early. The way I see it, she was grasped alive by people like you. And you dare to slander my mom. Do you want to be shameless? Seeing that they were still talking tough until now, I directly took out the recording I prepared in advance and played it in public. Ah, Yan. Your stupid wife shouldn't have realized that I switched children with her. Right? No. She spoils our daughter every day. Where's my daughter with her? Why don't you have it with you? After abusing her for a month and feeling quite bored, I just threw her in the bathtub and drowned her. You shouldn't be heartbroken, right? How could it be? I married Serena Frost for her family's property. The bitch she gave birth to is dead. When our daughter inherits her assets, they'll kick her out. Jason Zhou and Samantha Sun's conversation. Each sentence clearly resounded in the ears of the crowd. It left everyone at the scene wide-eyed and shocked. I go. So Serena Frost's own daughter was really killed by Samantha Sun herself. It's too much. Even if they dropped their child with their own hands, they also killed someone else's daughter. Killing someone's daughter. Stealing someone's husband. Taking someone's property. Oh my God. Is this still a human being? This man is not a good thing either. Killing his own daughter with his mistress. Worse than animals. Ironclad evidence. Spitting and cursing all over the place. The whole internet was filled with curses and angry curses against Jason Zhou and Samantha Sun. Now, Samantha Sun had no way to defend herself. She looked at me with a pale face and said in disbelief, "Since you already knew all this, why didn't you reveal it?" I said coldly and said bluntly, "That would be too cheap for you guys. I just want to hold you all up to the highest. And when you fall, you'll know how much it hurts. Only the higher you climb, the more miserable your end will be. People like you deserve to have your name broken and your family destroyed." My tone was calm, but my words were astonishing, and everyone at the scene was dumbstruck. They then realized that I wasn't stupid, but had played a big game of chess called humanity. Zhou Ranran was so shocked that she fell to the ground in a trance. Samantha Sun and Jason Zhou were even more dumbfounded. Only now did they finally realize that they had crafted so many conspiracies. The original has been transparent in front of me. And I am the one who has been teased by them for years. In fact, I have always been the designer who controls their destiny. In front of the shocked eyes of the crowd, I turned away coldly and Luna Su followed me. Later, Samantha Sun was sentenced to death for child stealing and willful killing. Zhou Ranran, on the other hand, was sold because she was in debt. Jason Zhou was forced to jump off a building because he was in debt. I, on the other hand, came to my daughter's grave. Luna Su took out the jade trigger finger that I had given out and handed it to me. "Mom, I wanted to ask before. Why did you give your family heirloom to that family of white-eyed wolves of theirs?" I buried the jade trigger finger within my daughter's grave while saying quietly, "Because it's the Shin family's heirloom. Giving it to them only represents my determination to get everything back." I adopted an abandoned baby and managed to raise her to become a prestigious college student, but her real parents jumped out to recognize her. The house and car I had set up for her she had transferred to her brother, and my retirement money she had taken to marry her brother over there. When I asked her why, she cried and said, "You are not my biological parents. So how can you understand our family bonds are unbreakable?" I opened my eyes again and returned to the day when my adopted daughter's biological parents came to recognize her. And this time I chose to fulfill her filial piety. Point 1. It was my daughter Emily Leong's graduation celebration, and all the relatives and friends around me cast envious gazes at me. Point 2. Emily Leong was even holding my arm and pampering me, saying, "Mom, we've talked about this. And there are 3 sets of apples and a big brand skincare product. You promised me before that you would give me all of them as long as I got into a major university." I had been thinking about my past life in my mind, and I didn't have time to answer. Mr. Liang had already smiled and invited credit from my daughter. Your mom is bluffing you. Your mom has just finished the college entrance examination, and she has bought it for you, and she is just waiting for the results to give you a surprise. Emily Liang smiled with big curved eyes, hugged me and kissed me. Mom, Mom. You are really my real mom. I love you too much. Kissing Mom. Kiss the ATM. Before the banquet, Emily Liang, dressed in a beautiful white dress, spoke on stage, counting in small pieces what Lao He and I had done for her over the years. A relative beside me whispered in my ear, "You know how to be thankful for adopting this child. Your blessings are ahead of you." I just said perfunctorily, "I hope so." How can we be blessed? We are thankful that she doesn't come to collect debts or use our hard-earned money to subsidize her birth parents. When I think of my past life, Emily Liang voluntarily gifted the house and car that I bought for her to her own brother, and stole the money that Lao He and I had saved up for our retirement to give to her brother as a dowry. I am furious and my anger goes straight to the sky. I couldn't believe that the child I raised myself would be so stupid and bad, but the information in my head was so real. The cold air in the ballroom was on full blast, but I still had a fine layer of cold sweat on my back. At that moment, a pair of plainly dressed middle-aged men and women suddenly rushed onto the stage from outside, their mouths chanting, third daughter, we've finally found you." The whole audience was in an uproar. Except for the closest relatives, no one knew that Emily Liang was my adopted child. Emily Liang's high school classmates in particular were chattering away, and Emily Liang, her face all flustered and embarrassed, hid behind me the whole time. The couple then started playing pathetic. The woman kneeled down to Emily Liang in front of the public and sang, "Third daughter, the day I sent you away, I lay in bed for 3 days and 3 nights without eating. My mother is really heartbroken. Luckily, you're good at what you do, and now you've been admitted to a good university. Otherwise, I'd feel too ashamed of you. So can you give me a chance to make it up to you?" Emily Liang had never seen this kind of battle before, and when she saw the woman kneeling down, she hurriedly helped her up. "You are so old. You can't kneel down to me. If there is anything you want to do, you can get up and talk about it." The woman said loudly in front of the guests, "Third daughter, you are the child of our old He family. If it wasn't for the fact that we couldn't afford to give you away, third daughter, you are the happiest of all the sisters, and you have forgiven me for having no choice but to give you away back in the day. I've found you with great difficulty, and I would like to take you home to have a look at your family. Is it possible?" The graduation celebration on that day was a very difficult one because of this pair of crazy parents. Emily Liang cried on the way back. I drove in front of her in silence. Mr. Liang coaxed her for a long time, and promised to give her $10,000 to go on a graduation trip. Emily Liang only broke down in tears and smiled. I laughed playfully and said, "Still thinking about graduation travel? How can adoptive parents like us understand the feelings of your biological bloodline? Or let your real parents give you money to travel?" Obviously that day, because of the epileptic grandparents, Emily Liang is very angry and very bitter. But I do not know how this couple coaxed. Only a few days Emily Liang will be relieved. She took the newest cell phone I bought, wearing the silk pajamas I bought for her, using the big brand skincare products I bought for her, snuggled in my arms and asked me, "Mom, what they say is true?" I nodded affirmatively and told her that when Mr. Liang and I went to Green Valley Village on a business trip, we came across a family that wanted to drown their newborn baby girl in a pot of urine, so we couldn't bear it and rushed to snatch the baby. Mr. Liang and I decided to adopt the baby as soon as we realized that the baby's eyes had opened, as if she could shine through all the darkness in the world. She was shocked. "Drowned in a jar of urine. Mom. You didn't have to tell me if you didn't want to. You're kidding." She thought it was a joke. If Mr. Liang and I hadn't run into her that day, there would be no third daughter in the world. Now that Emily Liang has been admitted to a good university, the family is again sticking over to suck blood. Point 2. It's probably true that family bonds are unbreakable, and in less than half a month's time, Emily Liang was begging me to go to the village where she was born to take a look. This time I didn't stop her, but let her stay there for a few more days. She hugged me and said I was the best mom in the world. I just smiled. During the time Emily Liang was at her birth parents' home, I sold the car and house I bought for her as fast as I could. Luckily, when I bought them, she was under 18 years old, and they were in the names of both Mr. Liang and I. Mr. Liang was very puzzled, and asked me, "Didn't you say that the car and the house were a gift for Xin when she turned 18? It's almost the child's birthday. Why did you suddenly sell all these?" I knew he wouldn't believe me if I told Mr. Liang. So I said perfunctorily, "Now that the housing market is in the doldrums, I'm going to sell them while they're still affordable, and well buy them for the kids if they want to settle down somewhere else in the future. We already have 2 cars in our family, and we can't afford to drive this one, so it's better to wait for the graduation to buy a better one." In this way, I sold all the cars and houses I had prepared for her, and I took the dowry in the name of financial management. All the assets I put in the trust group, without my password and fingerprints. No one can take it away. Emily Liang went away for half a month. When she came back, her face was thin, and her face was yellowish. Mr. Liang was painfully busy in the kitchen, and Emily Liang took my hand and sat on the sofa to talk about her life in her biological parents' house with her eyebrows fluttering. "Mom, do you know, they planted dozens of acres of rice, and in this hot weather they planted the rice under the sun. The water underneath was over their calves, and occasionally there were bugs lying on their calves sucking blood. But they didn't bother to let me work in the field, and my brother bought me a small pudding for 50 cents apiece. Mom." I was moved to tears eating that pudding. They were really too good to me. Emily Liang's eyes were filled with heartache for her biological parents and gratitude for her brother. As I looked at the newest and most advanced iPhone she bought for $11,800 in her hand and the limited edition sneakers she bought for $32,000 on her feet, I really didn't understand how 50 cents of pudding could have moved her to tears. Mr. Liang happily brought out the meal he had worked so hard to make, but Emily Liang stared at Mr. Liang's steamed seafood and said, "My little brother has never eaten shrimp. And he said the only seafood he has ever eaten is clams." Mr. Liang and I looked at each other in disbelief. Is she seriously ill? What does it matter to us if your brother ate it or not? Mr. Liang was working hard in the kitchen on such a hot day, and all he got was this from her. The most outrageous thing was that she took a bento box and put all the seafood in it, and then she pouted, "Dad, my parents over there have never eaten anything like this in their lives. Do you mind if I bring it over to them?" Mr. Liang's expression was hard to describe. Before Mr. Liang could think of a reason to refuse, Emily Liang had already packed up all the seafood on the table and took it away. We both stared at the empty table, full of anger. 3 Since that seafood incident, there have been one outrageous incident after another. First, the gold necklace Mr. Liang gave me when he got married disappeared, and I couldn't find it anywhere. Emily Liang came out of the air-conditioned room with a face mask on and said irritably, "Mom, what are you busy with?" Emily Liang came out of the air-conditioned room with her face mask on and said irritably, "Mom, what are you doing? You're rummaging through the cupboards." I asked her anxiously, "Have you seen the gold necklace in my jewelry box? I can't find it." Emily Liang said casually, "You mean the goldfish one? I took it to my mom over there. She's not like you. She's never worn gold jewelry in her life. I saw her neck was empty, so I took this necklace of yours to her." Mom, you won't blame me. Right. I was stuck in my chest. That's a memento of my marriage to your father, Emily Liang said indifferently. You have a lot of gold jewelry like this. Why are you so stingy? I forced her to get my necklace back, but instead of getting it back, she begged me to buy her another tablet. I was surprised. Didn't I just buy you the latest model? She blurted out. I gave it to Jake. He hasn't played with it since he was a kid, and he liked it so much that I gave it to him. I don't care if it's Jake or Void. I won't buy it for you again. Let's see how many more times you can give it away. When she saw that I wouldn't let up, she started to cry. I knew you hated my parents for being poor. You're just a snob who hates the poor and loves the rich. Do you think my parents don't work hard? Do you think my parents don't work hard? Do you know how hard they work on the farm? I'm all confused. What do they work hard for? Trying to get a son. Do you think they'd rather have 3 daughters and drown the third one than have a son? Hard work. Is it hard for me to sit in front of the computer desk for hours and hours? Is it hard for me to search for information and literature, and to play the keyboard desperately? Is it hard for Mr. Liang to make programs and lead the team? All beings have their own suffering, but to use their hard work to morally kidnap me is too disgusting. Emily Liang saw that begging me was useless and started to beg Mr. Liang, who carefully pinched my shoulder. Daughter-in-law, or buy her another one. The child is also kind-hearted, and it's quite inconvenient to look at her without a tablet. I looked at his well-groomed hairstyle and well-maintained body, and then I thought that in my past life, because Emily Liang subsidized our assets to her brother, Mr. Liang had to return to work hard at her age, and I couldn't contain my frustration. What if she gives our retirement money to her brother? What if she gives him our house and everything we have? Mr. Liang looked a bit hesitant. Mr. Liang looked a bit hesitant. I can't. No matter what. He is the child we raised. I held his hand, broke it and rubbed it together and told him, if she really cares about her brother, she can work in a milk tea store. She can do an internship in your company. She can use the money she earns to care about her brother. But she can't help her brother to get a package. Can she? What's the matter? We both adopt her and still have to support her brother. There is no such reasoning in heaven. Mr. Liang nodded sorrowfully and didn't agree to her request to buy a tablet. Who knew that this girl was good at playing tricks on us? When she saw that we didn't agree, she turned around and asked her biological brother to post a message on the internet to look for her. It reads, "My sister was just born and was stolen by a couple in front of the house. Now I don't ask for anything else. I just want my sister to come home to recognize her ancestors." The old mother of the family is so worried that her eyes are almost blind from crying, coupled with Emily Liang's mother's tears of sadness in the video and audio. It's really sad to hear and sad to see. The topic of finding relatives immediately rushed to the hot surge after the release of the biological parents' side of the relatives intentionally on the internet to bring rhythm. Some people say that this aunt looks very much like a high-bias general friend. The following person followed the post to say is not the third class that called Emily Liang's young lady. Really exactly the same. The news media's sensitivity to news is very comparable to that of other people, and when they saw this news, they immediately conducted an in-depth investigation, and finally disclosed the result. Mr. Liang and I were unable to have children, and when we passed by someone's house and saw the little girl was cute, we stole her, and Mr. Liang was furious at home and had tears in his eyes. At that time Mr. Liang was working in the office and we could only have one child. So we didn't have any more. But now she has joined forces with her own parents to frame us on the internet in this way. The reporter then interviewed Emily Liang, who cried in front of the camera, "I'm sorry to my parents. They worked so hard and had to run around to find me. I can't say anything else about raising a family, no matter how they raised me." This video was released. The bottom of the kind netizens have said, Good treasure do not cry. That is the buyer is not the foster mother. This thief couple is so disgusting. How can they steal someone's good child away? A small number of netizens spoke weakly, but they also gave Emily Leung all the love and protection. Immediately, I was disliked by people who didn't even recognize my own mother. You speak for the buyer so much. Did you buy a child in your house too? Bless you for having your child stolen from you at birth. The comments on the internet were so sharp that a reporter contacted me by phone. I heard that you had stolen someone else's child. So what do you have to say now? I didn't hide. I spoke with a clear voice. If I bought a child or stole a child, this is definitely my retribution. You could have called the police to arrest me, because this is a crime, and stealing a child or buying a child is a mortal sin. But am not. I was kind enough to save the little baby who was almost drowned in a pot of urine. Kind enough to adopt her for 18 years. Kind enough to raise her to become a brand-name college student. And even for that reason I didn't have any children. And none of you are qualified to say half a word about me. Not even Emily Leung, who I raised. This statement was even more rapidly fermented on the internet. And drowned in a jar of urine. She thought she was making a movie. This kind of person is like this. Not see the coffin will not shed tears. Support the He family to sue her. How can she make up for these 18 years of lack of family love? Must be sentenced. Emily Leung and her brother took advantage of this wave of wind to open a live broadcast. A line on the hundreds of thousands of millions of traffic. The two took advantage of this wave of bounty, earned a lot of money, and in the live broadcast crying I will not bother with them. No matter how they raised me. Then the two siblings talked about their first experience of working in the field in the live broadcast. Emily Leung brought up that a simple ice cream treat. She thought it would be full of touching and favorable comments. Who knows that the netizens in the live broadcast did not buy it. Take less. I didn't hear you right. Did I? Goddamn, a simple ice cream treat. Isn't this more explosive than the plain rice porridge story? Wait. Look at these shoes on Emily Leung's feet. I remember they are over 3,000 pairs or limited edition. I begged my mom for a long time but she didn't buy them for me. So carefree little princesses will be impressed by white porridge or a simple ice cream treat. So I can buy a $3 iced tea this afternoon and ask my goddess out. Emily Leung said. Emily Leung, seeing that the live broadcast was straying from her thematic ode to the greatness of family, hurriedly continued to add, my parents are farmers. But they really care about me. They work in the fields and only let me wait for them at the head of the field. It's a pity that my parents work so hard and so diligently and still have to be discriminated against by me for raising a family in poverty. Someone else chimed in. Yes. It's not easy working in the fields. When I was a kid, the thing I dreaded the most was planting rice. I had to do it every summer vacation. My back ached. And the worst thing was the leech lying on my leg sucking blood. It was heartbreaking to think about it. Yes. It's really not easy for us farmers. There are also some people to raise the bar. But who is not hard? I stood in the machine room for 8 hours today. And now my legs and stomach are trembling upstairs. You are not alone. I almost fainted that day in the machine room. Such a hot day, assembly line have no air conditioning. And there are a lot of people. The smell of the machine's oil mixed with the sweat and stench. Smoked people fainted. Netizens' thinking is more dispersed than Emily Leung imagined. And nobody cares about her smearing me for being poor. No one cares about her smearing me as being too poor to love the rich. Emily Leung saw that the effect of the live broadcast was not as expected, and began to smear Mr. Leung and me in the live broadcast room. Although my parents have no money and no background, they respect me and love me from the bottom of their hearts. I wanted to enroll in the archaeology department, and my adoptive family was extremely against it, but my parents were just so supportive. They said they were willing to support all my dreams. I think if I had grown up here as a child, I would not have grown up timid and cowardly. Netizen comment. If you grew up with your real parents, odds are you wouldn't have gotten into such a good college. Upstairs 111 should say not to say. You see, the two sisters of the He family at the age of 15 years old to go down to school to work. The younger brother 18 years old is still squatting in the home to know that this family does not attach importance to education. What respect. When this girl graduates, she'll understand how hard it is to raise a family. Although I hate and despise the behavior of buying and stealing children, there is one thing to be said for it. If it wasn't for the family, this girl wouldn't have been able to get into such a good university. Emily Leong looked at the uncontrollable public opinion and pop-ups, and panicked to go off the AIR.mr. Leong smoked several cigarettes in the study, and said to me seriously, "Let's legally sever our relationship with her, right? Didn't she say we support our family? Then we'll give her back. And we don't care what kind of life we have from now on." I nodded, thinking to myself, I don't think it's that easy to get rid of this dog skin. Point 4 as expected. The next day Emily Leong was back in a short video telling me about how I had harshly disciplined her since childhood and forced her to do so, resulting in her lack of personal freedom. The mother of the He family in the background panel cried bitterly to the camera. I had just given birth to a child when third daughter was stolen by that pair of heartless thieves, and my tears never dried up during that month. And if I didn't have 2 other children, I would have probably gone along with them. The comments were all heartbreaking as they condemned Mr. Leong and me. I didn't realize until I raised my kids that I could die without seeing them. Yes, that time I took my child to the park, and the moment I turned around, my child was gone. My cold sweat came down instantly. My mind went blank. I can't imagine how panicked I would have been if I couldn't find my child. That's it. When I was a child and the family adults hide and seek hide in the empty water tank. Who knows, accidentally fell asleep. Our whole village are on the mountain to find me. That day is really a good beating off. Various netizens have to share their own accidentally cannot see the child's trepidation. Online a heartache and condemnation. Of course, where there is no shortage of kung fu. That does not affect her son. Do not ask. Ask is dozens of acres of land must be son to inherit. The 3 girls have a son, who can't see it with a clear eye. There are angry netizens pick out my identity. They are in my work below the crazy screen. Stealing children thieves write what novels? What kind of healthy stuff can you convey when you don't even have the right outlook? Mr. Leong's account was broken, and I didn't dare to open the comments below. Mr. Leong's cell phone and the company's phone number were disclosed by the netizens. Mr. Leong said painfully, "Call that child and tell her to stop. Stop it when it's appropriate." I saw that Mr. Leong didn't want to blame her at this time, and thought that I had to give her a strong dose of medicine in order to make Mr. Leong realize the truth. I called her and told her that I had prepared a birthday gift for her, and asked her to come back to pick it up. Emily Leong came back with a proud face and a disdainful look. What kind of gift? It better be something good that's worth the trip. I resisted the urge to throw her out of the room. Sheen. Let's not make a scene online. Okay. Emily Leong rolled her eyes. Who told you I'm joking? Don't you think my family is poor and look down on us? Let's see if you guys earn more or I earn more from live broadcasting. Emily Leong said. Emily Leong, show off, roll up their sleeves. Show that side of the mother to buy her silver bracelet. My mother to buy me a silver bracelet. They said the elders to buy silver bracelets for the child is to hope that the child can be happy for life. But unfortunately I have grown up so big you have not given me to buy. I think of all these years I bought her a big brand bracelet, high-grade watch. Or every year on her birthday to send 50 grams of gold bars. And then look at her hand, thin and simple, a silver bracelet. I finally believe that there are people in the world really do not deserve to eat so well. Mr. Leong in the side of the angry face, red neck thick. The table slapped, bang. Emily Leong. From today onwards you account to move back to your biological family. Emily Leong. From today onwards your account will be moved back to your biological parents' side, and we will have nothing to do with each other in the future. Emily Leong's face was full of hurt expression. Dad. Don't you want me to? You don't love me anymore. Emily Liang cried in aggravation. Mr. Liang coldly said, I'm not your father. I won't let you sit on the ground in the sun. I won't give you a simple ice cream treat. And I can't afford to buy you a silver bracelet. All these years, your mom and I have been delaying your beautiful life. I apologize. I apologize. From today onwards, you don't come back. They'll pack up your things and send them to you by express mail in 2 days. Mr. Liang's words made me feel soothed. I should have done so long ago. Emily Liang nodded with red eyes. Yes. Then the house and car you prepared for me can be given to me, right? Didn't you say you were going to give me a birthday present? Mr. Liang and I looked at each other and sighed helplessly. All these years, did we even raise a burnt fork, without the house and car she wanted from us? Emily Liang. Oh, should change her name to third daughter. In the evening, she was on the air, selling her misery. They said they've severed their relationship with me. So I'll only have one pair of parents from now on. The netizens in the broadcast room are not used to her. Why does she sound quite sad? You don't know, do you? That foster family open company, write novels. A year to pay taxes are enough to he family efforts for a lifetime. He third daughter leave Liang family how to give up. She is still a child. How do you guys open your mouth as money? Not too disgusting. Mr. Liang called Mr. Ho's father to discuss the matter and return to normal life. Mr. Liang called Mr. Ho's father to discuss the matter and return to normal life. But Mr. Ho's father didn't agree and taunted Mr. Liang. 30 years east, 30 years west. I didn't realize that my opportunity was you guys. Mr. Liang was so angry that he dropped his favorite cup of tea and sat in silence. I raised the memory card in my hand. Do you still remember? Mr. Liang smiled bitterly. That year we went to Green Valley Village for business. You were so excited to record the real village life with your camera. Who knew that the video didn't last long? But you caught the He family trying to drown their baby doll in a jar of urine. You snapped and dropped the camera and ran to save the baby. Luckily the camera didn't break and the baby was saved. I nodded. We talked to them many times about going cold turkey and they wouldn't have it. Still trying to get on top of us and draw blood. They make money. It doesn't make sense for them to affect our lives. That night I coded that video and uploaded it to the internet. And a stone raised 1,000 waves. Shake the grass. Shake the grass. Shake the grass. What era is this? How can there be people who flout the rules so much? How dare you cry on the internet to find your daughter's relatives? He's probably sucking the blood out of a girl who got into college. That girl looks crooked. Why else would she be so wrong? 8 little black house. 8 third daughter. Duh. This woman is not a good thing to cheat people in traffic. I begged Duh to block third daughter's account. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8. Look at this. Someone is trying to kill someone. My video was rushed to the know. One hot search that night. And the audience watched this powerful reversal and rushed to third daughter's account. In the end, He third daughter's live account was banned, and the gifts she received for her live stream were asked to return the way they came. She herself was also blacklisted, making it clear that she would not be allowed to rumormonger on the platform. He third daughter came to our house that night, and when she entered her fingerprints as she is wont to do, she realized she could no longer open the door of our house. She knocked on the door and Mr. Liang just told her through the door that she should never come to us again. She cried and shouted, "We are a family. Why are you really angry with me? I was just kidding. Mom and Dad. You're just angry for now, right? You'll forgive me once you're over it, won't you, Mr. Liang didn't care about her anymore, but sold the house we were living in and moved out of the house after blacking out her phone number. 5 Not having to supervise our children's studies. Not having to prepare surprises and gifts for our children made our lives much easier and more free. I was inspired to write a piece of explosive hammer white-eyed wolf adopted daughter. Rushed to the first page of the list. Every day in the story all kinds of lynching her. And then by the way to earn a lot of small money. When I'm not doing anything, they'll travel around with Mr. Liang. When we were young, we said we would travel all over the motherland. Who knew that we'd become the cheap parents of other white-eyed wolves at such a young age? Every day, we raise our children and read all kinds of parenting books. The books said that children need a full childhood, and we even put ourselves down and put our children first in everything. After our child started elementary school, Mr. Liang and I studied even more than she did, supervising and checking every day, cajoling and persuading her, and then we managed to get into college, but this is how we ended up. When I look back, it was really a big dream. Once again heard the news of third daughter is in my sister. She sent a message to my sister to borrow money. My sister asked her softly how she was. She poured out the bitter water. I realized that these 2 years she had a very bad time. After breaking off the relationship, the parents of the He family full of thought in the internet can earn a lot of money. Who knows, because of my video they were not only invited to drink tea but also spit out the previous eat-in. At this point, the He family realized that we cannot miss the Liang family this wrongdoer. Let He third daughter again to find us. Thought we will easily forgive their own children raised. But I did not expect us to be so determined. Cannot contact us. He third daughter to read college still need tuition fees. He family parents exposed their nature. They coaxed third daughter to sell the iPhone fruit computer depreciation. The sale of money in addition to tuition only gave third daughter $2,000 living expenses. The rest of the money are taken to Jake smoking, drinking and eating a big meal. Third daughter took $200 to buy a worn-out used cell phone. In college, because of the cold and hard work of the profession, she has very little time for part-time work. When she couldn't afford to eat, third daughter climbed up to an old man off campus, who gave her $3,000 a month. And she transferred $2,200 to Jake. My sister couldn't help but ask her why she wanted to transfer to Jake. She said, after all, it is family bonds are unbreakable relatives. To see him live a bad I can't bear it. Ha 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 ha. Listening to my sister share this with me, I laughed at the tears are bow out. Good of family bonds are unbreakable. Our Liang family hold in the heart of the baby, in the He family, but is just a son to provide for the son. If the third daughter needs to be subsidized by the adults, the parents of the He family would have to go as far away as possible. This time contacted my sister to borrow money, because Jake in the outside world, messing with a married woman's belly. The husband of the woman is not relentless and asked for $300,000, saying that if he does not pay the money, Jake will be abolished. Anyway, he is not afraid of barefoot shoes. How can the He family couple get this money when they have been poor all their lives? So the oldest married sister and the second married sister will take $100,000 each, and the remaining $100,000 will go to third daughter to find a way to get the money. Third daughter, a poor student. What can be done to call me? I have already pulled her black. Looking for Mr. Liang still cannot be contacted. She went to our previous home to look for us. Who knows that out is another family. Told her we have long moved out. My sister asked me what to do. I was cold. Pull black. Don't reply. Ignore. My sister's expression was a bit intriguing. Sister, you think clearly. After all, we have raised 18 years. Do you want to give up? Those days and nights of being let down and discredited. My heart has long been harder than a rock. When I saw third daughter again at my book signing, my book about a white-eyed wolf's daughter was high on the hit list, and I had released the book and sold the rights to the movie I was preparing to make. She disguised herself as a fan and waited in line for an autograph, and when she got to me, the man behind her took out a camera, and she knelt down to me. "Mom, after all these years, you should be angry, shouldn't you? Please forgive me." I was also compelled by his parents back then. I looked up at his third daughter. She was only a junior this year, and by all rights should be the most spirited age on campus. But her eyes were tired, her face was haggard, and she looked at me with eyes full of aggression and hurt. When I was a kid, every time she showed this look, Mr. Liang and I would pick her up and coax her with all kinds of heartache. But she was mistaken if she thought Mr. Liang's third daughter was still using this tactic on me. I grimaced. "I remember when you were the one who said on the air that we were just raising a family and weren't considered your parents. You said we were controlling and suffocating you. That I never bought you a silver bracelet and didn't really love you." She looked at the bustling crowd and cried even more weakly and helplessly. "Mom, I was just a kid then. What kind of mother gets really angry with her kid?" Ha! I stared at her. I wanted to see what flowers she could say. "Mom, do you remember? You promised me a house and car when I turned 18. You can't keep your word." Her eyes were all obstinacy and madness. Someone in the crowd couldn't listen anymore. "She's the archetype of Dada's white-eyed wolf, isn't she?" I would say that Dada is still too gentle and didn't write in the article that she is shy and wants a car or a house. Is this woman's brain problem? Why do I feel that her logic is not like a normal person? She can't see that she's tall. Can't she see the height of her eyes? Security guards. Are you watching the show if you don't throw her out? Until she was thrown out, she was still asking me to give her my house and car. Although the farce of the book signing was over, the episode caused a big stir on the internet, with people reminiscing about what happened 3 to 4 years ago. Some people said his third daughter self-inflicted. Some people applauded. But there are always some holy mother bitch on the internet to bring the rhythm. Do not you think that this adoptive mother is also too cruel? Yes. Yes. After all, their own hands raised the child. How can you say disowning the disowning? No wonder it is a great man. The heart in the end and the ordinary people are different. I looked at these people on the internet who stand and talk without pain. Cannot help but the big number of the next field. Since you are so distressed, you simply adopt her too. That netizen's reply even became a stunt all over the net. "Ill talk about the matter. How dare you harm me?" The words demon. "How dare you harm me" somehow made it to the hot search. And everyone mocked that netizen for standing on her feet. Really letting her adopt, she ran faster than anyone else. With the story of the white-eyed wolf adopted daughter on the big screen, the topic of adoption, the birth grace of adoption has caused a frenzied discussion. Mr. Liang and I in the hotel in Sonia drinking red wine and watching the netizens talking about it. Suddenly the platform pushed out a piece of latest news. The He family had tried to drown the urine pot. The female college student who was adopted and came home again poisoned the family's meal. And none of the family's 4 members were spared. The following is a knowledgeable comment. Xin is really very bitter. She just went to college. Her mother forced her to pay out 100,000 yuan to her brother. She could not get out. Her mother forced her to online loans, and then could not pay. Xin was controlled by the loan shark organization. Ate too much suffering. When the news was first reversed to know that she was almost drowned, I thought, this biological parents will not be good for her. Yeah. Poor Liang's family worked so hard to raise her to be a college student. And her life was ruined. This time, she will do something so crazy. It's said that it's because the He family let third daughter marry an old man who is addicted to domestic violence. That man can be her father. But the He family cajoled her to come back for the sake of $200,000 of dowry. One netizen was more opinionated. He commented, "Actually, She has her own reasons to come to this stage. She doesn't know how to be grateful. She is addicted to the so-called small favors and blood kidnapping. It's a pity, Mr. Leon and I just closed the message window in silence. A reporter wanted to interview us. We refused. We wasted the first half of our lives on white-eyed wolves. Now that we are no longer young, we just want to see the great mountains and rivers of our motherland while we can still walk.